We can get something done today. Beautiful day. Hey, dog. I think there'd be more people here. Please pick up after your dog. Gotta pick up after you, Stella. Where you going, huh? Hey. Unbelievably beautiful day. Sometimes we joke in Kansas City that we have 2 good days a year, one in the spring and one in the fall. Well, I hope this isn't our spring good day. Hey, how you doing? So today is such a beautiful day. I'm using this other phone camera, shooting up at an ugly angle at myself. I'm a photologist, so I should know better, but you know, sometimes you gotta do things on the fly. And the reason I'm doing this, don't want to crash into that parked car. The reason why I'm doing this is because I took some medicine, pills for my diet. I'm always fighting a diet problem. Part of the program is to take these pills. One is diethylpropyliphone. I'll probably say that wrong. Probably saying that wrong. Anyway, that's too personal. Too much information. So the reason why let's just say that pill has got me kicked my brain into overdrive because it is a form of stimulant. It's supposed to suppress your appetite, and I haven't been good or taken them for a long time. So in the process of suppressing my appetite, I've also stimulated my brain, and now my brain is on overdrive. So while I'm on overdrive, I've been thinking about some things. Well, first off, David Ford gave me that, handed it to me personally, and so I put it on. That's for Mardi Gras. That's the Crew de Maximum is what KDM stands for. That's David Ford's crew. Kansas City is doing Mardi Gras, February 28th. And then the other thing, this is let me get the oops, it's not doing it. And while I'm driving here, let me get the bloggy thing out. And I'm using this camera I don't usually use. Let me see if I can adjust it because it is an ugly angle. All right, that's not working. All right. So there's a lot going on in politics these days. And first off, let me say that no matter what, everybody everywhere needs to think this one thing. And this is a quote, I even wrote it down. Vladimir Putin is an existential threat to every man, woman, and child on this planet. That's a very serious statement. He is an existential. If you don't know what existential means, well, first off, look it up. There's plenty of places you can. But secondly, you don't have to look it up. I'll explain. He is threatening your very existence. I just realized my mic was down here, but I think you can still hear me. Pardon the noise and the unprofessionalism. Your very existence. And not, if you're self-destructive, like a lot of human beings have a self-destructive gene, and you don't necessarily care about that, you'd rather be right than alive, well, first off, think about he's also threatening your children's very existence, your grandchildren's very existence, everything you care about. Secondly, it's obvious that our president of the United States of America is a puppet. That's a new word. Is a puppet of this dictator. And make no mistake, Vladimir Putin is a dictator. Our president is an elected official with dictatorial ambitions. This is, to me, not a political statement anymore, but a matter of truth. And I'm speaking to all people, Republicans and Democrats, whatever you consider yourself. We are all human beings. We are all Americans here. Now, it's more than just being American. I said Putin is an existential threat to every man, woman, and child on the earth. We have a power-hungry dictator madman, a Stalin-esque figure, if you will, who has unlimited access to nuclear power, and it's demonstrated the will to use it, nuclear weapons. He has demonstrated that he would rather go down in history as a man who ended the human race, or civilization as we know it, than to ever have to back down on anything. That is very serious. So what I am saying is, regardless of what politics are going on in this country, is that we need to mobilize United States, our Asian allies, and especially our European allies. Now, I know you've been through 2 wars, and it's awful. But let me tell you something. You need to mobilize. Remember the lessons of history. Do not appease this dictator. He has demonstrated that he wants everything. This dictator has an opponent who is a more worthy political candidate, a better presidential choice than he is. This opponent has just been disqualified from running for office under Russian law because he's got a bullshit conviction. It is a bullshit conviction. Don't let anybody argue otherwise. Look it up if you do not agree. It's something on trading on elk futures or something. And Putin had to go get a kangaroo court, which he controls all the courts in Russia. But he had to get, even though he controls all the courts, he had to find some kangaroo court in Siberia to get this conviction, to disqualify him under Russian law. Russian law right now, in the United States, we have the thing called balance of powers. We have the 3 branches of government. Our founding fathers wisely, is one of the wisest things they did, created these 3 branches of government to counterbalance each other so that nobody could run in and make a rash decision without the people, meaning the Senate or the Congress signing off on it, B, the courts examining whether or not by our law and constitution it is legal. But in Russia, they don't have that system anymore. They may have it on paper, but Putin runs and controls the courts. So you have a man who's in control of the courts, in control of the military, and then he has made sure that he could pack the parliament with his cronies. And the way he does that is he has basically outlawed every other political party in his country. Now, that's very Stalin-esque. Perhaps I'm not the best at pulling up facts and figures, and the brightest when it comes to that, but I do listen. So when people have comments and to add to the conversation, we can make this into a 2-way deal. Just reply. And maybe there's some other better ideas out there. But I don't mean to say but. I just mean to say that right now, I feel like with Russians meddling in our politics, with the fact that they are trying to install a puppet president, the very fact that they're standing off our shores right now with spy ships and they're buzzing this is not friendly to us. If we don't understand what time it is a couple seconds to midnight. We need to mobilize now. I know, oh God, World War III. Maybe not. However, I was thinking today that history has proven that if you stand up to a tyrant, yes, terrible things may happen. But if you don't stand up to the tyrant, those terrible things will happen and then some. We are quickly coming down to a choice. And that choice is stand up to him now or stand up to him later when it's even worse. And I think it's time to stand up to him now and say no. No. And I think you will find that there are a lot of very well-educated, cultured, reasonable people in Russia who are also waiting for somebody to stand up to them so that they themselves can finally do what's right and stand up to their dictator. That is really beautiful. Somebody just handed this guy food, lunch. That's what will really see us through in this world, and is empathy. Not power, not winners who are really whiners. Empathy. Empathy is the word. If we don't have empathy in this world. So yeah, and again, Russia is under the spell of a dictator. He's played upon their fears. He's told them that they will be great people. And I'm like, yeah, if you consider a nuclear holocaust and smoldering ruins great. I don't think anybody does. I think people love their children more than they love their pride. And yeah, and especially, I'm not talking to the United States of America, because, you know, we are out here in the middle of our own hemisphere and kind of isolated, and we have padding. I'm talking to Europe. I wish I knew more languages. I know Britain will jump on board. They always have. I'm talking to France. I'm talking to Germany. I'm talking to all the Baltic, Slavic countries. I'm talking to Spain. And I'm talking to Eastern Europe. Stand up. You need to stand up. Every eligible man needs to be in uniform, armed, ready to go. Don't wait for America to come. You need to stand up right now. We need... Russia is a big country on the map, but Russia is a tiny country by population. Russia cannot fight the world. Russians think, oh, we're invincible. We'll do what we did to Napoleon. We'll do what we did to Hitler. That is nonsense. Winter will not save them. Technology. Your technology is only as good as your educational system. I hate to say this. Push-button warfare only works if you have smart people that can push the buttons. Europe and the United States have a lot of very well-educated, smart people. And, let's not forget, Asia has some really intelligent people. They know how to make the buttons that actually work. But we have to lose the false idea of we can push buttons and sit comfortably back in our easy chairs and watch our magical military annihilate our enemies. No. War has always come down to boots on the ground, people firing weapons, people being brave, people standing up, and that's what we need. If millions of people stand up, bullies back down. We need this bully to back down. We need him to step down from the presidency. We need him to be in jail. We need him to answer for his crimes against humanity. In essence, I'm saying probably this man needs to take a long jump off a short rope. Europe needs to stand up now. Mobilize. That means everybody who is eligible, healthy, able to put on a uniform, puts on a uniform. Everybody pitches in. We need to defeat this man before he does much more damage. If you do not know or do not understand We are in a state of war right now. Don't wait for the politicians to declare it. We are there now. If you don't understand that, you will soon. Now, don't lose hope. Don't feel like it's the end of the world. It's not. It just means that we have to do something dangerous, scary, and ugly. But we have to do it. And we have to show that we have the will to do it. That is what is going to make this bully stand down, because he cannot. His power is based off of the power that he has been given. Nobody exists in a vacuum. If we stand up to him, I'm telling you, the people in his own country will see the light go. And there are a lot of very smart, intelligent people in Russia. And there are a lot of people in Russia who don't like what's going on and yearn to be free. And they see with clarity what is happening. I know I have the world's most awful video. You can hardly see me with the sun behind me, but think of this as a podcast. Don't even look at my face. Listen to the words and then respond to them. Please. This is the most important historic moment that any of us will ever see in our lives. Let's make this bully step down and answer to his nonsense. I think that's all I really have to say. I hope I got everything that's in my crazy head out. Oh, well, you know, there's some structural things in the United States too. Like, we need to get rid of our bully too. But, you know, maybe we should do the worst thing to this bully and to his buddies who are empowering him, and let him stay in office. And just keep hammering him. And identify all the people who are in favor of this guy and hammer them too. Especially hammer them. I mean, this guy doesn't get it. This guy, Trump, he just doesn't get it. You can hammer him all you want. He'll be him and his people he's got around him are like, it's like how would you say? It's like hitting a lump of clay with a hammer. The hammer goes in and you get angry and it just bubbles up somewhere else. They don't get it. There are other people who do get it. Send a message. I said to somebody, a person who's younger than me, I said, everybody who's under 35, you want to do your duty right now? Go vote. There's elections coming up. Vote in your local elections. And then, 2 years from now, vote in those elections. Everybody who feels unempowered in this country right now, vote. And then, if you vote, and the election is somehow stolen from us in the technicality, i.e. the popular vote and gerrymandering, things like that, technical procedures, then the Constitution gives you another way. Actually, it comes from the Declaration of Independence. It's American tradition, and it's Second Amendment time. If your vote did not count and you don't feel very good, organize into your militias. It is time to do that too. And keep protesting. Keep the noise up. Keep it going all the time. You know, the right-wing militia movement always would say the cartridge box or the ballot box. They always ballot box first, then the cartridge box. Don't go off half-cocked to be all like, oh, we're gonna like vandalize and shoot and destroy everything. That is counterproductive. Let it all play out. Go through the courts, but let them know. Again, it is a matter of standing up and showing this is our wall. You do not pass. And yes, by the way, the one thing militias are right about is it's very legal too. It's not insurrection. If somebody is violating the Constitution and they do everything against the people, then the people have the duty to stand up and say, no, you are not doing this one way or another. But please, keep it sane. I said sane. Keep it sane. Keep it legal. Don't give anybody an excuse. Take all the crazy people, and we have enough craziness in this world. I may be one of those crazies. Take all the crazy people and say, okay, thank you very much. We'll take note of what you just said. All right, now let some other people speak. Don't listen to the people who shout the loudest and they give the best slogans and write the best memes on the internet. That stuff is meaningless. Listen to the people who actually have their feet on the ground and are walking the walk. You know, this past election, we're sick and tired of elites. And isn't it funny that the elites have to tell us who the elites are that we're supposed to hate? It's those educated people over there. Those people who went to college. You didn't go to college. It's those union people. It's those teachers. No. It's those rich crooks who are pointing the finger and blaming the blame everywhere else but where the blame really exists. You know, Hispanic people did not come into this country and take our jobs away. CEOs sent our jobs away. They did it because they can make an extra buck, get a big bonus this year. Oh, we need that second house. Do you know how you combat that? Really? You know how you really combat that? Next time you need to buy something, look for local options. Oh, there's Ken. Well, anyway, I've kept my friend waiting too long and I asked him to come and help me on something, so oops. So, rant over. Thank you very much. And please respond. I'm lonely over here. Thank you. See you later, YouTubes. All right, a story from Trump's America. That's what we'll call it.
Oh no, I did not know I was going to be videotaped.
Oh no!
Oh, I'm so sorry.
YouTube.
I don't need people to know who I am.
So what's your story? By the way, she's Asian American. You're from
I'm Vietnamese American.
Vietnamese American.
So I was at the local Quick Trip up north across the river in Kansas City. Great place. And I was wearing a traditional dress called an ao dai, which is just like kind of like a cheapao kind of, and easily able to be identified as non-American. And so I'm just getting my taquitos at the roller place because it's $2.29 for two instead of $1.49 each.
Raised in the United States.
Yes.
I could tell by your accent.
Yes, I was born at St. Luke's on the God's year of 1994 on November 9th, making me a Scorpio. Everyone out there. But yeah, I'm getting my taquitos on and I'm like halfway eating one and some dude is behind me and he tells me to go back to my own country before I get deported. And I like turn around and I tell him that I don't know English and I can't help him. So, and I just pay for and he's still like yelling stuff at me, but I'm like zoning him out because I just want to eat my food, my shitty gas station food.
Yeah, what would you say his ethnicity was?
Trucker.
White American?
Yeah, well, yeah, white American, Caucasian
What
American.
we might call it, or redneck American.
Yeah, about 3.5 teeth, probably, maybe.
3.5 teeth.
Yeah.
Not very well educated.
No, I don't know what he had in his hand. I think he was getting snacks too, like me.
Many truckers. I know one of the most well-educated people I've ever ever met in my life is a trucker.
You know? And it wasn't great. It was just a weird thing that happened because it's not the first time. It's the first time like someone told me to go back to my own country, but it's not the first time I was racially profiled at a Quick Trip. So it's cool.
That's too bad. I'm so sorry that happened.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's kind of a funny story.
Yeah, because it's just like, okay, so obviously there were a whole bunch of other people, like other white folk in there that did not stand up for me, and I knew I can't fight back. I mean, I'm one person.
Isn't that the most distressing thing about it?
Yeah.
All the other people are just kind of like enablers.
Yeah. And it's just like, well, I'm not going to escalate this because I know what's going to happen, and it's not going to be great because I am an Asian American
Maybe in their
woman.
defense, maybe that's what they were feeling too.
Yeah.
It's like,
Sure.
yeah, it's better to just let it go by than to. Because obviously, if the guy is bold enough to say stuff like this, he's also probably a little bit unhinged and unstable.
Yeah, and I don't want to interact with nobody like that.
It's sort of like our president right now.
Something like that, you know, very unhinged and
Unstable.
just his kind of presidency is enabling this kind of behavior and making it appropriate for folks to single out other Americans that look different than them, and they have, you know, presumptions on who I am. You know, I'm wearing this beautiful dress that I got.
Hopefully the wind is not destroying her.
Oh, I hope not. I was wearing like a beautiful dress, and I felt real good. It was a really good, like, warm day a couple days ago, and I was like, yeah, I'm feeling it.
And your family may be typical. I'm not supposing anything, but your family's from Vietnam, so your family is probably more typical historically of a lot of refugees, like what's going on
Yep.
in Iraq right now.
Yeah.
I would assume, and I probably might be wrong in this, that your family is South Vietnamese.
Yes.
And they may have come here as refugees as well.
Yep. My dad escaped here. My mom came here over like a program.
And if people understand the history of South Vietnam, they would know that the South Vietnamese actually fought alongside with Americans.
Yep.
And it's kind of like similar to what's happening right now in Iraq.
Yep. Yep. You're damn
And
right.
many people left Vietnam as refugees because they would either die or live really horrible lives.
Whenever the Vietnamese wave was coming in, the Vietnamese refugees had a lower approval rating than the Syrian refugees now.
Yeah.
I think it was like 41% whenever the refugee crisis happened for Vietnam.
But look at what Vietnamese have done since then. Built wonderful businesses in this country.
Yeah. We lead caucuses for the government, Asian American caucuses. Yeah, I mean, we're still underrepresented. Like, there are two categories of Asians. There's overrepresented and underrepresented. We're still the underrepresented, but I feel like Kansas City has a very high Vietnamese population, and it's all wonderful. I don't think we bother anybody except our own people.
Well, I mean, like a lot of cultures here.
Yeah.
We've gotten acquainted with Vietnamese culture and the food and everything.
Definitely.
And learned a lot of things. Like a lot of things a lot of people don't know is that a lot of Vietnamese are Catholic. And,
Yep. My parents are. My mom is Catholic. I was raised Catholic. I mean, I don't practice, but
you know, a byproduct of French colonialism.
yeah,
Indochina was a French colony.
yeah,
So
yeah. It's just a weird thing that happens, and it's probably gonna happen a lot more. The main thing is that, like, my mom, since she has a green card and all that stuff, like, I'm afraid for her more than me.
I think you did the right thing, though.
Yeah.
And I think you did actually kind of a funny thing.
Yeah. you can't feed into it, and it sucks that I couldn't retaliate. And, you know, like I mean, I could.
But you are right now by telling this story.
Yeah.
Who knows where this will go?
You know.
This story is true.
We're at
And
why
it's a
it
shame.
is.
And we're appealing to the. You know, they say that a lot of people who voted for Trump are people who have poor education.
Yeah.
A lot of them are doing drugs.
Yep.
And a lot of them are just scared, crazy, senile old people. And I hate to lump everybody together and all that and pull a racist card just like, but I mean, he is appealing to that demographic. And
Yeah.
that's the demographic that's speaking up. It's almost like it's not even worth responding to.
It really isn't. It's odd. It's an odd phenomenon.
All right, well, thank you for talking to me.
Yeah, man.
I'm showing Ken.
Oh, there you go. You know, he's telling the story.
Yeah.
He's looking at those pictures.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I won't go there. All right.